Hey guys, good afternoon. It's RG here, live a little bit earlier than usual because we have to head out this afternoon, but we definitely did not want to take away the opportunity for A, another product share or project share, and B, the opportunity for you to enter the RG Share Challenge and win next week's bundle. So congratulations to everybody who's already jumped in and shared our video from last Tuesday. And today we're going to play a little bit more with some sugar drops, some sugar cubes, and of course the gorgeous new stamps that were released this Monday, which are Flor Maria. Let's go ahead and switch over to our top view. Flor Maria, Artisan Tile, and Fiesta Life. So amazing. We absolutely love these projects or these stamps because, again, they're full of color and they're full of vibe. Let me show you the project we created not yesterday. What day was it? Tuesday. I love the papel picado image, and I've got so many different ideas, but I think my favorite part was that vintage old look on the tile in the background. So amazing. If you didn't catch that, you definitely want to go ahead and revisit. And then earlier in the week, we went live for a friend's page who is selling our product in Mexico. And we created this gorgeous Feliz Cumpleaños, beautiful card featuring the Flor Maria stamp set as well as the artisan tile. Now, if you're not familiar with what a Maria doll looks like. So here's a mini version of them. If you have attended or visited Mexico, you would have seen them all over the place. They're quite popular in the state. And it's just a darling little play doll that they purchase for little girls. And it's full of color and full of life. And so I kind of wanted to mimic that a little bit in our design. So they're all hand stitched for the most part, and so we bring them to life a little differently. All right, so let's go ahead and play with our background. How is everybody doing today on this Thursday? I've got David with me in the studio because Miss G is working on shipping. I don't know if you guys remember, but we were going to go ahead and switch our shipping company from USPS to FedEx. And so that happened, it was supposed to happen Tuesday, then we worked on it on Wednesday, and so today we're kind of finalizing that transition. So, but for the most part, all of the back orders have been shipped out. We don't really have any except for, of course, our Cropper's Tote and a Crafter's Tote, which arrive next week. And in addition to that, we also have some of the Sweet Love stamps that were oversold on the first week, but those are here that we're just kind of waiting for the shipping thing to get resolved.
Sandra's saying that
hi Sandra,
she loves the apron and also the crazy background.
Love the background. Sandra Ludwig or Sandra de la Cruz? Santa Cruz.
Ludwig.
Sandra. It was so fun seeing Sandra at the show and getting hugs almost every day. All right, guys, I'm going to be using 3 different sugar cubes: Rich Cactus, Rich Honey, and Rich Cherry. Actually, I'm going to X-nay on the cherry because I'm going to switch that with Rich Tangerine since I did already use Rich Cherry in some of the other projects. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp this 4 times. Now, I've already pre-done some of that here just because it's a little bit earlier and not make it so long-winded. But I wanted to go, it's going to be the same to all. I'm going to go ahead and ink up my entire background. Now, I love the artisan tile background stamp, but I mainly love it because of the various different techniques I can create with this. Now, I'm not looking for a solid impression, so I'm just going to get a little water bottle to spritz directly onto my ink and onto my stamp. I want to let it sit for a little bit because I want the ink to start to separate. Again, I'm not looking for a solid impression. I'm looking for a little bit more of a artisan hand-painted look with a little bit of distressed or aged elements. So I've got a piece of powdered sugar, and ultimately what I'm going to do, I think we're pretty good there, is I'm going to go ahead and stamp that. And again, there's going to be some wet spots, a little bit of a blur, possibly, because I'm looking for a little bit more of a vintagey feel. If you've been to Mexico, these are very popular tiles where again, we've got some of that watery mark, that separation, that splatter, that blur, and I love it. So that's kind of the look and feel and vibe that I'm going for. So I'm going to do that 3 times with all 3 different colors. So our rich cactus, rich honey, and rich tangerine. And then I'm going to be paper piecing a little bit of that. Now I'm going to grab a piece of powdered sugar. And I want to add a little thin coat of gesso because I do want a little bit of a watery color element featuring those same colors. So unlike what I've done in the past with the doll, this time I'm going to do some heat emboss, but I want to color the background before I heat emboss it. So I'm going to add a thin layer of gesso to powdered sugar. Super thin because I'm going to be stamping on top of this, and I want a little crispier of an image. So I'm going to let that dry, and I did have one already that I dried up. All right, so this one's dry. The other thing I'm going to do is, so I've already stamped those other pieces that we talked about in the different colors, and I've cut them out the way that I want them. I'm going to use a wet wipe to just bleed in some of that dye base, okay? Just slightly. It's going to create a little bit of a bleed, and it's going to add a little hint of that color to that cardstock, and you'll see it more, of course, in our oranges and our greens because they're a little bit darker color. But I'm just going to lightly press, not too much, where it fades my impression a little bit, but it also creates a little bit of a hint of that color. Same thing with the green. Again, you'll see it a little bit more as the colors get a little bit darker. But check it out. Okay, so it just kind of bleeds it in a little bit, and it creates a little bit more of that vibe and that feel. Again, ultimately trying to get that ceramic type. So I've already added some gesso to this piece of powdered sugar, and I'm just going to grab one of the cubes here, and I'm going to go ahead and grab some rich cactus, sugar drop, some rich tangerine, and I'm going to spritz some water so that I can have those colors start to run. And I'm also going to spritz some water onto my powdered sugar that's already prepared with.
Angela is also saying that she'd love to have one of those aprons to share the company around.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're working on it, Sandra. I'm just kind of testing them out and see, I love that. I love that little bit of splatter. And again, I'm not exactly sure where it's all going to land, quite frankly. But I just love that splatter, and I love that color popping through. And I can always come back and add some more of this. But ultimately, you want that water in there. I'm just creating a background because I'm going to stamp the dress right on top of it, but this time I'm going to emboss in black. So I just want little colors, little peaks of color coming through where the floral design is. If you can see that. I love the sugar drops because they allow me to do a little bit more of watercoloring, whether you want to be specific watercoloring or something like this where I'm just creating a background. And again, you know I love to let it dry on its own, but because we need to save a little bit of time, we're going to speed things up here.
Julia is asking, is that reaction from the gesso?
You mean the separation? So not really. So yes, the gesso is allowing me to prepare the surface so that it's not being absorbed by the cardstock. Because of course, if this was regular cardstock, it would just be absorbed, and it would wet my cardstock. But because it has to stay on the top of the surface of the cardstock because the gesso is protecting that layer. So then, yeah, the ink just kind of stays up there. But it's really a reaction to the water, and so the water allows it to kind of move and separate and transition, and you can make it richer in tone, add darker colors. There's a variety of different opportunities that you can do here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab and again I want to position that in such a way so that's a good spot. Grab my doll, and I'm going to use our simple syrup ink to stamp that. I may do it twice. We'll see here. Nope, I think she's good to go. It's nice and juicy. Now I'm going to bring in some black taffy embossing powder. And again, I love that color popping through the dress. Let me make sure got every piece covered here. That did not work out as planned. Okay, if you know me, you know that me and powder do not get along very well. Yeah, and then this is probably going to end up in my face somewhere. Where's my babe when I need her? All right. Most of it made it in there. All right, so let's try this again. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna heat this up, and I still have the opportunity to come back and watercolor her hair. The flowers in her hair would be super cool. And I love how shiny this embossing powder is. Let me show you. Again, the pop of color of the greens and the oranges looks super cool. And then I'll come back and add a little bit more tone right on top of that. Because again, it's already prepared underneath and it allows me to do that. So I'll let that cool off for a little bit while I'll start prepping my card base here. So I've got multi-layers of sugar stock. Of course, I've got some rich tangerine, some rich cactus, and some powdered sugar that I'm going to layer together.
Gesso, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, is asking, did Sarah, I have a hard time pronouncing these names. I want to butcher them because I don't feel bad. Munez, I'm sure it was the lady that came over.
Yeah.
Bring your sets to Mexico? That's what she's asking.
Yeah, she did take a few sets. Who's this, Giselle? Yes, Giselle, she took a few sets. Especially, I think a lot of people pre-ordered, so she definitely had them with her. So you might want to check with her. I'm going to create my background here. And when in doubt, we're going to pop this guy right out, just using some foam squares. I love the dimension. I'm going to do some multiple layers here. And I'm just going to paper piece a little bit.
Also, Rebecca is asking, what brand of embossing powder?
So this is our own. It should be coming out shortly because I like it to be a little bit thicker and a little bit shinier. If I'm an emboss, I love that thicker embossing powder. So it is our very own black taffy. Just kind of like black taffy. You know how black taffy is so thick and shiny. I'm going to double pop this one out because, again, I'm looking for that dimension and that texture. And I'm going to overlap. You see that already? And the last one, which I'm going to cut here as well.
Rebecca's also saying, what colors are coming out?
So we have some of the basics. We have powdered sugar. We have black taffy. We have simple syrup. So these are some of the tones that will be coming to life. You mean in embossing powders, I believe is the question, right? I'm going to do one more layer, guys, just because I want that dimension. To really stand out. So this is the background for my card. I've got several layers of that tile background. Now I'm going to come back and I'm going to do a little bit more watercoloring over here. Just for the flowers and the tones. Now you can mix and match too. Like if you wanted to bring in some Copics for her skin tone, you can do that. Let's go ahead and add a little bit more water. And make those flowers a little bit richer, maybe some of them. If they have whiter spots. Or bring in some of that. If you want to bring in some reds, I think it's a great addition.
Rose Curtis is also lurking around in the chat.
Love the addition of the red on here. Maybe bring some red to her belt. You just have to be careful not to get all your colors intertwined, or else you're going to lose some of that and it'll be a little muddy. Just changing my brush here, because I seem to have black ink on that brush. So again, you've got so many different opportunities to bring in that color, that tone. And I love the color that is coming through. All right, if you wanted to do a little bit of a skin tone, you can probably mix in just a light sweet pink. We can test it out here, see what vibe it'll give us.
Daniel is asking, can the sugar drops be used as re-inkers for the sugar cubes?
Yeah, that's what they're designed for. So they're designed to be used as re-inkers for the sugar cubes, but they're also designed to bring in for different medias, like We've got our media mixer that'll be coming up, and so you've got a few options. So we're just drying our color on here. And just being careful not to overcook your embossing powder so you don't burn it. So just from afar. Alright, so now we're gonna cut this guy out, or cut her out, to bring in that piece, that fun flare. I think she's so cute. So I'm super excited, guys, of next Monday's bundle as well. I mean, I think they're all absolutely fun and give you amazing opportunities to create. But I'm especially I especially have a personal connection to the one from next week. Because I loved it so much and I've been wanting to see it come to life for a while. So I hope you guys love it as much as I do. Remember, it goes live at midnight. Now, of course, if you wanted to, you could look how pretty that looks on my background there with the different colors, with the different tones. I absolutely love it. And of course, you can still come back and add some of the paper flowers to the background. I've been enjoying doing that, the layers, the various different pieces. So it just makes it super, super fun. I'm going to go ahead and pop out my doll, and I'm also going to go ahead and add a little bit of twine to the background before I set her down, just so that I have some flair behind her. You know, I love to add my twine elements to my projects, and just kind of set that in there. And then bring her right on top. Super cute. It will go onto my card base here, which is Rich Honey. Love, again, like I said, the dimension and the flair. So amazing. Now again, you've got the opportunity for some extra flowers, for some blooms. You've got also the yummy cactus that's in the set that you can also watercolor and add a little bit of flair to. But I'm going to bring in a little bit of splatter, because I really love the way that it ties my project together. And then of course you can decide you're going to make this as an invitation for an event or a party, or even a thank you note, happy birthday. So check her out. So full of color, so much fun. And there's so many different sentiments you can choose from. I'm going to go ahead and choose our little thank you. And of course, you can always stamp that on the inside as well. You've got muchas gracias here. Or on the mini set, you've got the life is a fiesta. Or you've got con mucho amor, which means with lots of love. Or of course, you know, feliz cumpleaños means happy birthday. So I'm just gonna grab a scrap of powdered sugar here. Just to finalize my project and add a sentiment to it. But so much fun, guys. I love playing with the set. Maybe even bringing in a little extra flair to the project. I'm like, where's my cubes at? Well, they're right here. This one has a little bit of green still.
Well, it
Stuck
cool.
on it.
But it looks cool.
Yeah, I love it. Let's see if I like the way that looks. That's what happens when you design on the spot.
Makes it look like it's got some hues in there.
Yeah, for sure. Look how cute that is. You've got the muchas gracias. I don't know why I said it that like that. Like I don't know how to say it. Like why would I say it like that? I do know how to say it. I don't know why it came out that way. Like, oh, you don't know how to say muchas gracias. Just a quick little cut here to bring in my sentiment down at the bottom. And again, I love that flair of my project with the sentiment, muchas gracias, and our beautiful Maria doll. So I hope that was fun and that you were inspired to go out and play with the various different backgrounds and the images. They're super, super different and exciting because I love the color and I love the flair and I love all of the various different layers that it could bring your projects. But thanks again for your share and your participation as we continue to do the RG Share Challenge. I wish you the best of luck. I will be choosing a winner on Saturday and then I'll announce it so that you don't go in and buy next week's bundle. But it's going to be a blast. Any questions for me? David is reading, guys.
No real questions, just saying that they liked how the card turned out. Sandra's saying that you're saying muchas gracias our way. Which is, I don't know.
Yeah, that's pretty much true. I'm like, why am I saying it like that? I don't even know why I said it that way. But
Rebecca says that she loves the backdrop in the studio. I built that, by the way.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, David's the one who put it together. Guys, are you new to the, if you didn't catch it last time, so again, I wanted to bring all of our colors to life in the background for a fun showcase and some of the various different projects that we've created throughout the last few months. And I love it. I think it's so fresh and it's so fun and it's so bright and it's pretty. So thanks again, guys, for joining us. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. I can't wait to see your project come to life, and we'll definitely catch you next week. Best of luck with your shares, and I hope you win next week's bundle. Remember to continue to create and capture so that we can bring hope to those around us. Thanks, and have an amazing rest of your night. Buenas noches.